I want to ask you something today that might be a little uncomfortable to sit with. Have you ever noticed that the people who are steady and genuinely good to you somehow feel off or maybe a little scary, like something is missing? And yet the ones who keep you reaching and wondering and working for their love feel electric. And I want to talk to you about why that is today. There's no shame, there's no guilt, there's none of that here because when I finally understood this about myself, I didn't feel shame, I felt grief. And then I felt relief. And I've shared bits and pieces of my story over the last 10 weeks and in my mother wound and father wound videos. Definitely go back and watch them. Because finally having a name for something you have been living without understanding is one of the most freeing things that can happen to a person. As the Bible says, the truth shall set you free. And you have wanted a good relationship your whole life. But if you came from a hard childhood, you have ached for it in a way that is difficult to put into words. You have done the work, read the books, prayed the prayers, and you genuinely cannot understand why, no matter how badly you want it, you keep ending up in the same place with a different face, with someone who almost loves you, and you keep choosing them. And it's not conscious, but by a design of your nervous system put into place long before you were old enough to question what was going on. And here's what nobody told women who grew up where love was inconsistent, conditional, withheld, or delivered alongside of pain. Your nervous system learned what love feels like from those early experiences. Not the love you deserved, not the love you needed, and it wasn't the love you actually received. Well, that got filed away as the definition of love inside of your body. So when you grew up and started choosing partners, you did not choose with your mind. You were choosing with your body. And your body went looking for the familiar. Someone who makes you work for it, reach for it, earn it, people pleasing, codependency, all of those things start to show up in your life. Someone who feels deep in your nervous system like home. And home for you was a place where love was always just slightly out of reach. Steady, reliable love does not register to a nervous system wired in instability. It becomes flat, boring, and off. Like a key that does not fit the lock you are used to, it's a square peg trying to get into a round hole. So when someone safe and available offers you exactly what you say you want, you feel nothing, or you might self sabotage it. And you walk away from the very thing you've been asking God for because your body could not recognize it as love. Then someone a little withholding, a little familiar in the old aching way comes along and your whole system lights up. And that feels like love. Of course it does. That's the intensity over intimacy. That's the intensity over real love. And it's the exact feeling you grew up calling love. You've been drawn to them because of the ache, not despite of it. I want you to sit with that for a minute. You felt that it was normal despite that it was not healthy for you because you didn't understand what normal, safe adult love feels like. And that's not a weakness in you. That is a wounded nervous system doing the only thing it knows how to do. I know this because I have lived it. I have felt nothing when someone steady and good showed up, and I have walked straight toward the familiar one who kept me reaching. Not because I didn't know better, because my body did not yet know better. And it took real inner healing work. It wasn't my willpower. It wasn't another book that I read about red flags because they didn't have them when I was dating and they didn't have them after my divorce. It was just starting to really get popular talking about trauma. And that's why I went for my coaching certifications and learned everything I have because I needed to learn it myself because nobody taught it to me for 54 years. And I needed to do the work that would change what my body recognized as love. So you were not broken for choosing the way you chose. You were doing exactly what your nervous system shaped by very early pain does. So you were seeking home all these years. That story was written in you before you had any say in it. But I want you to hear this is the exciting part. As God says, you can transform your whole entire life. It can all be rewritten and you can heal, not by finding someone new, because you need to do the work yourself before you start dating if your old patterns still feel familiar in the wrong people. By healing the place inside of you where the original wound lives, God is saying you'll renew your mind because you're not going to try harder. You're not going to have to work harder to choose better. You're going to renew what you need to renew inside of you. And that's your mind that then tells your body it is safe in this relationship. This person that you're meeting is actually safe. You're going to renew everything inside of you, all the way to your cells, because until what feels familiar actually changes what you reach for, nothing will change in how you date and how the person is that you attract. And when that healing begins, when your nervous system starts to recognize something steady as familiar, something safe as home, something good as something you do not have to earn, everything changes and you stop choosing the almost love, because the real thing finally feels like something your body can receive. And for the first time in a long time, what feels right, what is right, become the same thing. So if you've been asking yourself, why do you keep ending up in the same place or staying with the person who's been hurting you? You're not broken. You're not destined for this. You're just a woman whose nervous system learned something in a place and time when you had no say in what it learned. And that is the most beautiful thing, because you can change it. Not overnight, not without real work, but genuinely and completely starting right where you are. And that's exactly the work that happens inside of my self-paced program, the Inner Healing Journey Method. It's not surface level work. It's not a quick fix. And it's not another thing that's going to ask you to perform or pretend or fake it till you make it. It's not going to ask you to pretend you have something you have not personally found. It's actually the real work at the level where the wounds actually live inside of you. And if you're a man watching this, a husband, a father, a leader, a pastor, I want you to know this work is connected to something I built specifically for you. Raising Her Worth exists because I believe that healing flows from the top down, that when leadership changes in homes, in churches, in communities, everything beneath it changes too. And the dating guides, the resources, the conversations happening there, they exist to protect women of every generation, starting with the people who have the most influence over the culture that we create. All of it is connected. All of it is at my link here and the link in this description. Now, before you go, I would love to ask you, if this reached you today, would you please subscribe to my channel? And if you know a woman who needs to hear this, would you send it to her? She does not need more advice. She needs to know someone finally said what she's experiencing, what she's feeling, and what she's afraid to say out loud. God bless your healing, and I will see you next Monday. Thank you for being here with me today.